Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to explore what it means to be a truly fantastic partner on really important projects. And we're going to do that by taking a look at dePillis, a leader who's built her entire career on a very simple but really powerful idea: that shared success is the only kind of success that truly matters. So let's jump right in. But first, let's just ask a quick question. What really defines a great partner when the stakes are high? Is it just about having the right skills, or is it something more than that? We're going to see how dePillis answers that question, not with words, but with a solid track record of getting things done. And all that action, it really starts with a very clear, very powerful philosophy. It's the bedrock for how she approaches every single challenge and every single team she works with. Okay, let's really get into this. At the very heart of her approach is this simple but honestly profound idea she calls the win-win. This isn't just about finding a middle ground. It's a deep belief that the only real success is when everyone succeeds together. It's all about building an environment where each person's win lifts the entire team up. And you can see how this plays out in the real world. This isn't just some nice-sounding mission statement, right? This is a direct quote from someone on her team. It shows that win-win idea in action, making individuals feel supported, which in turn builds a much stronger, more effective team. So what fuels this whole win-win engine? Well, according to GJ, it all comes down to trust. She sees it as the single most valuable thing a team can have. It's what lets people communicate openly, take smart risks, and really, truly collaborate. And without it, well, the whole thing just kind of falls apart. So how does this philosophy actually turn into a practical method? A colleague once came up with this fantastic metaphor to describe Gigi's unique role on a team. And this just perfectly sums up her approach. The right hand, that's the engine. It's pushing for results, keeping the project moving, making sure everyone is productive. But just as important is the left hand, the one that provides the structure, makes sure all the roles are followed, and keeps everybody and everything perfectly in sync. You absolutely need both to win. And this isn't just a clever saying. It translates directly into a concrete set of skills. It's about being able to manage complex stakeholder relationships while at the same time writing detailed policies, or integrating huge global systems while also understanding the subtle cultural differences because, she's lived and worked in Europe. It's about seeing the big picture and also mastering the tiny details. So this unique mix of philosophy and methodology, it's been put to the test. And we're not talking about small projects here. We're talking massive, global scale. Let's take a look at the numbers. Okay, so at Kaiser Permanente, GJ was a key player in a huge technology integration program. And the value of that one program, a staggering $1.8 billion. That alone just tells you the kind of complexity and responsibility she's comfortable with. And what was the human impact of that massive project? Well, it served over 12 million health plan members. So these aren't just abstract numbers on a slide. We're talking about millions of people's lives and the critical systems that support their health. Now, to make a project that huge actually succeed, you need people to get on board. GJ personally trained over 4,700 employees on more than 700 new ways of doing things. And the result? An unbelievable 90% adoption rate. If you've ever been part of a big rollout, you know that number is almost unheard of. This is where the big strategy actually meets flawless execution. And Kaiser wasn't just a one-off. At XLS Blue Cross Blue Shield, she was involved in a $5 billion revenue transformation. At huge companies like Abbott, Amgen, and Regeneron, she handled massive system mergers that affected tens of thousands of users. You see the pattern here, right? She thrives on these huge, complex, high-impact challenges. But numbers, they only tell part of the story. Let's look at a situation where the stakes were incredibly personal and where success looked pretty much impossible. So here's the scene. A manufacturing plant was right on the edge of disaster. It kept failing its FDA audits, and the executives had already decided to shut it down. That meant over 200 people were about to lose their jobs. GG was brought in as an absolute last resort. And what happened? Well, she didn't just slap a bandage on the problem. She dug deep, found the root cause of the failures that everyone else had missed, and she fixed it. But she didn't stop there. She then created a solid 10-year plan that not only saved the plant, but set it up for success for years to come. And the best part? She saved every single one of those 200 jobs. This is exactly what her colleagues are talking about when they say she thinks outside the box.
As Brett Evans, a director at Johnson & Johnson, pointed out, she doesn't just stick to the script. She finds these creative, unconventional ways to get the job done, and get it done in record time. So, this incredible ability to solve today's toughest problems is totally connected to how she thinks about tomorrow's biggest opportunities, especially when we start talking about technology. When you bring up AI, a lot of people immediately think of doom and gloom. GJ sees potential. She has what she calls a Bloom philosophy, seeing AI not as some threat, but as an amazing tool that, when you use it ethically and creatively, can unlock incredible new growth for businesses and for the communities around them.
So what does this Bloom idea look like in the real world? Here's a perfect example. The idea is simple. Take a waste product from AI data centers, which is a ton of heat, and turn it into a community asset. You can actually harvest that server heat to melt icy roads in the winter. It's a huge win for the community, and it creates a totally new source of revenue for the business. Now, that is thinking differently.
And her innovation isn't just theory, it's tangible. She actually holds a US patent for a new kind of diagnostic device. This just goes to show you that she has a mind that's constantly working to solve problems in new ways, from the very first idea all the way to a patented reality. So we come all the way back to that first question. What makes a truly great partner? Well, it's someone with a win-win mindset who can be both the right and the left hand, who's proven they can deliver on a global scale, who can solve impossible problems, and who is always innovating for the future. So the real question is, what could a partner like that do for you?